Great day, kings and queens. Yeah. Welcome to another conversation with Drew, where it's an honor to serve this gift that God has given me to bless you, where I'm allowed to share this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through my experiences that's causing me to become the greatest version of myself, to be able to help you to become the greatest version of yourself. This is a thankful Thursday, and I'm honored and very thankful, and want to express my gratitude for every moment, every opportunity to be able to share the experiences that I have, the testimonies that I receive on a daily basis, everything that I can possibly give to help and cause you to become the greatest version of myself. I am honored. I am extremely grateful to be able to do so. Man, on this thankful Thursday, man, I just want to be able to speak about, just the patience of the understanding of when our blessings are coming, or when, the release is coming, or where the things are coming to cause us to become the greatest version of ourselves. We don't recognize and we don't realize that this life is already designed to succeed, and everything that we go through in life is already set up to succeed. It's not anything that you're going through to struggle. It's not anything that you're going through to fail. The life that is created for all mankind was literally created to succeed. But it's the things that we go through that causes us to not see the success. It's the things that we go through that blinds us from the blessings that's coming. And so it's amazing how God strategically designs things in our lives. And if we pay attention, this is the importance of being in a relationship with the Father. This is the importance of being in a relationship with the Creator, right? Because yesterday, this is so amazing, right? Our grass had needed to be cut for the last about week or so, maybe about 2 weeks, right? And my uncle, Reverend Jesse, who usually do it, he's getting older, up in age, and he got sick, right? And so he hasn't been able to come around, to hit the grass. And so the day before yesterday, I'm sitting in the house, get a knock at the door, and I answer the door. First is this, little petite guy. You can tell he's a little older. He's like, man, I'm about to knock. No, first thing he said is like, man, you a big dude. That was the first thing he said, like, man, you a big dude. I guess he wasn't expecting me, a big man to come to the door. And he was like, man. And so he like, I'm about to cut this grass back here. He said, do you guys need your grass cut? And he gave his price. And I'm just like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, man, that's a blessing in my head. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so it was so funny, right? Because, as he's about to leave, I say, what's your name? And I introduce myself, and, he stick out his hand. He like, my name is Man, or something like that, and of course I, share who I am. And so I grab his hand, and, first thing he says is like, be easy on the hand, be easy on the hand. So, I've seen his personality, but I've never met this man before, right? And so, yesterday, come home, and the grass is cut. He didn't hit the other side of our duplex, and the grass is cut, and it was so, I'm just like, okay, well, I see he cut the grass, and I see him in pain, and so as I'm sitting down in the house and I'm working on my plan, I hear some commotion going on outside. And this is why I tell you, man, to be conscious, man, of who you are and in your relationship with God, because you never know how God strategically sets things up. And so I hear this commotion going outside. I look out the window, you know what I mean? Being that nosy neighbor, I look out the window. I don't see nothing. Look to the other side, and right next door in front of the driveway, I see this young man with his shirt off, and he going ham, cussing this guy out. And I look and I see it's the same little guy, who came to offer to cut my grass. Mind you, this man is probably about in his mid 40s, and this young boy probably in his 20s, and he's just going off. And I see that I can't really hear it. And so I go to my door and I open up the screen door and stand in the screen door, you know what I mean? And I hear him say, give me your wallet. And he make dude give him his wallet. You know what I mean? He take all his money out and he slap him in the face with his wallet. At this point, I'm ready to go out there and break this little dude in half. I don't know this other man, but to see a black man, you know what I mean, doing this to another black man is heartbreaking when you are conscious, right? And so I'm ready to go out there and break this young boy in half. And, I hear the Holy Spirit say, man, Drew, you got too much to lose. And I'm just like, man, because I'm ready. It's something as a king that you feel like you have to protect people. And so you know, he tell him, get on your bike, get out of here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I better not ever see you get around here, you know, come around here again, man. I have you killed and all of this crazy stuff. So I don't know what the incident was. And so I'm about to go out there, you know, and I just walk down to the curb. I had the blue container out there, you know, the recycle bin. And so I pull it back up, right? And, you know, I see all of, you know, the guy's stuff, you know, his wallet and all this stuff is on the ground. And so, you know, I pull the blue container up, you know, in my mind, I'm like, man, if this young boy say something to me, man, I'm going to smash him flat out. But I'm just like, man, you know, I realized in 2016, these young boys can't take a butt whoop and they want to kill you. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, man, Father, it's burning in me to say and do something. But I'm like, okay, so I take the blue container back to the house. You know what I mean? Then I go back down there to the curb, man, and pick up this man's wallet and put his information. I mean, it was his, you know, his ID and some pictures and so forth and so on. I put it back in his wallet. And I'm about to sit it, you know what I mean, on the stoop. Because, I mean, by this time I see him, he rode off on his bike and bent a corner. So I don't know where he just went to. I'm about to sit it out. But then I'm like, man, it's information. Then the young boy come back around the corner like, man, he had some credit cards and stuff in there. I'm just like, nah, he ain't had nothing in here, just his ID. I think it might have been a little debit card or something. So I'm about to go back up to the house, but I'm like, this is this guy's wallet and this is his information. And again, I'm telling you this because you have to understand strategically how God does stuff, but you have to be in the right place and right position. You have to be in the right relationship with God because he may be using you for a blessing to bless somebody who don't know who God is. And this is the importance of us walking in so much authority and so much power in such a relationship because you may be the only example that somebody see of God, right? And so God is just like, man, just walk and see if you can find this guy. And so I'm walking for like 10, 15 minutes, walking through this neighborhood. You know what I mean? Mind you, at this point, I had my shirt off because, you know, I was in the house chilling. You know what I mean? So I'm walking through this neighborhood, you know, and I see all these little kids, of course, staring like, man, you muscular, man, you diesel, da, 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 da. You know, and so I'm walking and I'm looking and I just see like down the street, some commotion going on. Mind you, I've been walking for about 10, 15 minutes, you know, and then I keep getting closer and keep getting closer and I hear this man yelling. And so I see him, you know, and then he sees me and he freezes. But again, he didn't know me. He didn't know who I was, right? And so he freezes because dude had his shirt off too, but he was a little frail dude, had his shirt off too. So I don't know if in his mind, you know, he thought that I was the same guy, or he sent the henchman around the corner or something to finish the work. I don't know. And so, you know, he sees me and he's standing in the front of his home. And so I walk up to him, man, and I hand him his wallet. I'm like, is this yours? He's so shook that he just like, I don't know. He just take the wallet and put it in his pocket. You know, and then, but, you know, God had placed on my heart, like, man, give this man every dollar that you have in your pocket, all the money that you have in your pocket. And so I reach out and I hand it, you know, to hand the man the money, like, no, I ain't taking no money. Don't know what I mean? No. And I'm just like, man, here, take this money. Like, no, I ain't taking. I said, didn't you cut my grass? And his eyes get big. Like, oh, that is you. But at this moment, I recognize that this man is a little off. And so, you know what I mean? Everything just rewind back to what was happening in front of my house when this young boy literally basically strong arm robbed him, you know what I mean? And took all his money that he had in his pocket, in his wallet. And again, the anger in me wanted to break this dude in half because now I see that you took advantage of somebody who's a little mentally off. You know what I mean? Because he was a little small in stature. And so I'm ready to break this dude in half again in my mind. And I'm so angry, you know, but the spirit calmed me down and showed me that even though this dude had just been taken advantage of, even though this man was broken, I hear him now as I was approaching, he's out there yelling like, man, I just been robbed. I just been robbed. God immediately showed me in that moment that even though a person may have been broken, even though a person may have been distraught, even though a person may have been taken advantage of, if you are in the right position, God is going to use you in such a way immediately, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. He's going to use you immediately to be a blessing and be a reflection of him. Man, now this man never knew me. He never met me besides Wednesday. That was the first time he ever met me, but he still didn't even know who I was. And so I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is that, man, even if you are not the blessing, And if you're in such a place right now where it's so hard for you to believe, where it feel like you've been taken advantage of, where it feel like life is not amounting to anything, man, God is about to bless you in such a way, man. He's about to send somebody because he's moving so fast. He's expediting results. Again, I met this man I met this man on Tuesday. He came to offer to cut my grass. I look out the window on a Wednesday and he's being basically strong arm robbed right in front of my face. Now, as the king that I am, I wanted to go break the perpetrator in half. But God didn't allow me to because, again, the violence wasn't necessary. But the moment to be able to bless this king and show and share with him, I said, man, feed your family. Because I don't know this man. I don't know if that's all that he had. But everything that I had to pour out to this man because, again, God wants to use us in this season. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, I ain't making this up. I'm not making this up, kings and queens. God wants to use you in this season to show people the image and the reflection of God, but you got to be in the right position. Man, quit playing church. Quit playing religion. Quit playing Christianity. Quit playing Islam. Quit playing Baha'i faith. Quit playing religion, man. Be real with your relationship in God. I'm telling you, man, because as much as the natural man wanted to snap that young boy in half, the spirit man was able to go and show this man a reflection of the image of God. Why? Because I could have just threw that wallet away and not cared. I could have kept all the finances I had in my pocket to myself. But I emptied out and poured whatever it was that I had in that king because he needed to see God. He needed to see God. He didn't have to wait to go to heaven to see God. He was able to see God even in the midst of his distress. Even in the midst of his distress. So what I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is that, man, sometimes, man, when we are going through our worst situation, I mean, I went over there, man, dude's lip was busted. The young boy that had punched him in his face. That's why I'm saying I had so much rage inside of me to go find that young punk and break his little butt in half. But the point of it all is, that when you understand your reason for existence, when you understand your purpose, when you understand the gift that's inside of you, when you understand why you're here in this earth, man, you're not here to collect a check and pay some funky bills, man. Get that out of your warped mind. Begin to renew your mind and understand that you are a king and a queen that can change lives. All of those kids out there saw this big cocky dude walk up the street in his flip-flops and shorts and hand that man not only his wallet, but money out of my own pocket. I'm not saying this for accolades. I'm not saying this for likes and applause. That's between me and the Father. I'm sharing this testimony with you because I want you to see that you have the ability of God inside of you to be a reflection here of him here on this earth if you get out of your own way. My way was a smash, dude. Straight up. I'm talking about, man, tears filled up in my eyes. I was so hurt to see that young man doing that to that other man. My way was a destroying, wiping up and down the street to show him that you don't do that to another man. That was my way. But God's way was to walk 10, 15 minutes out of your own way, out of your own rage, out of your own anger. Walk 10, 15 minutes. Find this man. I don't care if you don't even find him. I just want to see if you'll do it, son. Walk 10, 15 minutes out of your own way. Out of your own way. And show him that the image of God does exist in the earth, even though he just met the image of the enemy. I want you to see how my power and my authority works when you're in relationship. Kings and queens, I don't care if you're in distress. Expect something great to happen to you. I don't care if you just been broken. Expect something great to happen to you. I don't care if you just been robbed in life. Expect something great to happen to you. Expect it. Expect it, man, as hard as it may be. This was a grown man that was just robbed and punched in his face by some young punk, and this man was distraught. But in that quick moment, in a matter of 10, 15, 20 minutes, he was able to see the image of God through an ordinary man. This is the reason why you're on this journey. This is the reason why you constantly work on yourself every single day. This is the reason why you are to have a relationship with the source, with the creator, with the king, with the manufacturer, with the alpha and the omega. Because it's your responsibility for his people to be a reflection of him in this earth. I never met this man outside of Tuesday evening. I never known this man outside of Tuesday evening, but it was a reason for me to meet that man. I can never see him a day of my life again. But when you understand the power of the relationship with the true and living God, it's not a religious thing, man. I got outside of religion. This queen hit me up yesterday in my inbox and she said, man, what church do you go to? I said, we are the church. I haven't been in organized religion in the last 2 years of my life, but I study every single day with the Father. I listen to audios about his word every single day. I read books about the word every single day. I'm in the manual every single day. Why? Because it ain't about no religion. I've been in that for over 30 years of my life. But for the last 2 years, I've grown and excelled more than I ever have in 30 years because it became real. I got in a relationship with him. I got married to him. And there is no divorce from him. Because I recognize and realize that we are the apex of creation. And if we are the apex of creation, then that means that we must have a manual out there that'll teach us how to become the greatest version of ourselves. How is it that when you got your iPhone, it came with a manual? How is it that when you got your new car, you open up the glove compartment, it comes with a manual? How is it that when you got your entertainment system, it came with a manual? How is it when you got your son's or your daughter's dresser, it came with a manual? Then how the heck will we not have the manual of life if we are the apex of creation? That's called the basic instructions before leaving earth. You can call it the Bible. I call it the basic instructions before leaving earth. And it is the reason why I am the greatest version of myself today. And I'm becoming even greater because it became real. I got outside of religion. I got outside of the term Christianity, as they call it. Yes, I'm a follower of Christ. And if that's called a Christian, then that's what I am. But I'm not the religious aspect of it. I am a son of God. That's what he called me. I am a child of the Most High. That's what he called me. I am a son, not a servant. That's what he called me. I am a king. He said, I'm the King of Kings. That's what he called me. I am a Lord. He said, I am the Lord of Lords. That's what he called me. I am not a religious member. Jesus Christ was not a part of the Sanhedrin Council. He was not a part of Caiaphas, the high priest. He was not a part of the Herodians. He was not part of any religious organization. He was a king walking the earth, and he came back so us kings and queens can have our rightful position. What are you doing with your life? I didn't even get on here to talk about that. But man, what happened yesterday showed me the authority and power of what it is that he desires us to do. We are to be in such a great relationship that we are able to impact lives immediately. Immediately. He didn't allow that man to go 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months with that burden on him. It immediately changed in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. Kings and queens, your life can change in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. If you begin to expect that greatness, if you begin to expect that change, if you begin to expect that blessing, I'm telling you, kings and queens, the same image that he saw breaking his lip, busting his lip, a guy with his shirt off, he's seen that same image come around the corner, walk 10, 15 minutes to bring him not only his wallet, but also to pour a blessing back in his life. Why? Because God wanted to show him that. Not me, not Andrew Clayborn. I wanted to show him how I can come to his defense and break this young boy in half who just took advantage of this mentally challenged man. But God wanted to show him the same physical image, but then blessing with the spiritual image that can change his life forever. I'm telling you, kings and queens, man, it's real. It's real, man. It's real. It's real. It's real. I'm living it every single day. Not for me, though. I told y'all yesterday, I'm willing to lay down my life for you. I'm willing to lay down my life in everything that I desire to have for you. Why? Because I understand the true value of life. I was sent here by my Father to do his work. That's it. You were sent here by the Father to do his work. That's it. If you understand how great and significant that is, you'll stop worrying about your relationships. You'll stop worrying about your finances. You'll stop worrying about your funky job. You'll stop worrying about how you're going to be provided for. When you take care of the king's business, the king take care of you. That's why we're called ambassadors of Christ, because ambassador is a walking country. If you know anything about being an ambassador, that means that when you are a walking country, when you are representing the country as an ambassador, they have to pay your tuition, they have to pay your mortgage, they have to pay your children's tuition, they have to pay for your food, they have to pay for your livelihood, they have to pay for everything. The country does that. So that's why he says, seek ye first the kingdom of God first, and all these things shall be added to you. Because when you understand this understanding, there's no possible way that you can lack. But he had put you in position, kings and queens, to be a reflection of him. That's a king up there in the original country. That's a king. That's not a peasant. That's not a punk. That's a king. Therefore, if I'm a reflection of a king, then I'm a king too. You're a queen too. You have that same type of authority in you right now. You have to stop allowing life to beat you up like you're weak, though. You have to renew your mind and change your mindset, though. The word renew is a grammatical construct. It's not the word new. He couldn't tell you to get a new mind. Why? Because doubt, fear, worrying, being a punk was a new thought to God. He said, renew your mind. Re means to go back to the original state or go back to the original way. That's like if I tell somebody who's sick to recover, I'm telling them to go back to the health that you were before you became sick. If I tell somebody to retreat, I'm saying go back to where you was before you became here. So when I say renew your mind, I'm saying go back to the original way of thinking. The original way of thinking for us kings and queens is dominion, power, authority, rule, leadership, mastery. This is why we're to expect great things to happen to us in the midst of our distress. This is why we're to expect great things to come to us, great blessings to come to us in the midst of our heart. Why? Because if you're hurting, that means that you are growing. That means that you are being prepared. That means that you are being stretched. Go stretch right now and you ain't stretching 10, 15 years. I guarantee it'll hurt. Because you are growing, kings and queens, to become the greatest version of yourself. That's why I use the terminology kings and queens, because we're not peasants. We're not religious members. We're not these individuals who we've been conditioned to believe that we are. We're not citizens really of the United States. We're citizens of the kingdom of heaven, honestly, because you're a spirit first and then you're a body. You are a spirit inside of a dirt suit. This is what makes me so great at what I do. Because I carry this understanding everywhere that I go. I don't allow nobody to judge me by the way that I look. It's cool. I build it up. You know what I mean? Because I understand that this is my vehicle. So I build this temple up because I understand that I house the spirit of the living God inside of me. But it's not, again, to be a religious member. It's not to run around and shout and what we say is worship. It's not to do that. That's a facet of it. It's not to do that. So everybody who's playing church, they're missing it. It's to have dominion in the earth. So when you see a young punk taking advantage of one of God's citizens or one of God's children, you go. Instead of doing what Moses did, I could have Moses that young boy. I could have killed that young boy. That's how much rage that I had in me. I could have done something harmful to that young boy. But instead of doing what Moses did, without having to retreat, I was able to go and show that man the image of God. I was able to go show that man the power and the authority of a king. Why? Because a king protects God's territory. A priest teaches them. He said we are kings and we are priests. I'm understanding everything now so clearly, but the only reason why that is, kings and queens, let me tell you, is because I found a true and living relationship with God. I got up out that play. I got up out that running around churches and falling out and rolling all over the ground. Man, listen, man, he ain't create us to do that. I promise you he didn't. I promise you he didn't. He didn't create us for that. He didn't create us to jump up and down and worship and cry and clap and then walk out the building and be a punk. He created us to be kings and priests. Great morning, Queen. He created us to have authority. He created us to represent him in such a way that when people see you, they see him. That's why Jesus kept saying, I and the Father are one. When you see me, you should see God. That's why he kept saying that. Because he understood the power and the authority of who he is. That's what I had to show that man yesterday. In the midst of his distress, after just being strong-arm robbed and being punched in his mouth, I had to go and walk around and not even knowing that man for more than one day, I had to show him the king and the image of God that's in me. That's it. And you have that same authority in you. But the reason why you are not doing it is because you're playing with it. You think it's about going to church on Sunday. I haven't been to church on Sunday in over 2 years. I go sporadically here and there. Why? Because I understand that it's not about the organized religion. It is about the relationship with the King. If you do not understand that, you'll keep playing with it and get no results. He said, you're known by their fruit. Do I look fruitful? Am I producing any good fruit? I believe that I am. I believe that I am. He said, you're known by their fruit. If I haven't been to organized religion consistently in the last 2 years and I'm producing good fruit, then I have to say something that Drew is doing is right. And I'm not playing with it no more. Again, it don't shut off for me on Sunday. I don't play with it. I don't leave a building and then go back to a normal life. I live this every single day. Every single day. Every day I study. Every day I listen to him. Every day I talk to him. Every day I relate with him. Every single day. Because I understand the greatness in you, and I understand the greatness in him, and therefore I understand the greatness in me. Because I recognize that we are here for an amazing purpose, amazing reason. If people are not seeing God when they see you, and you talk about you a Christian, are you talking about you a Muslim? Are you talking about you a believer in Scientology? Are you talking about you a believer in Baha'i faith? Are you talking about, you know what I mean, Buddhism? You know what I mean, Hinduism? And people don't see God when they see you, you playing. You playing. You playing for real. And you wasting valuable time. Valuable time. Make it real today. Make it real when you leave this TV program today. Make it real. I'm talking about make it real. Ask God, what does the real look like? Because I search for it every single day, even when I know that I didn't have it, and I believe that I did. I still searched for it. I sought after it because it was not real. I knew we wasn't here to just jump up and down and sing and cry and roll all over the floor and say, whoa, holy God, holy God, holy God, and then walk out the doors and have no effect on the world, have no impact on the world, walk out and be punks and be beat up by all of life, every single thing from finances to supervisors to jobs to children to life itself. It was weak to me. Organized religion is weak to me. A kingdom relationship is the only thing that matters. If you do not understand the King and his kingdom and the purpose of his kingdom and the purpose of him sending his children to this earth, you don't know nothing. You're playing. You're playing with it. I promise you, you're playing with it. I see it every single day. People walk around with crosses on their neck. It's crazy because I see people who say that they're Christians walking around with crosses on their neck, and then I turn to the side and see the dope dealer with the same cross on their neck. That's how I know you playing. Because you believe that that cross really means something on your neck. It don't mean nothing if it's not in your heart. You playing with it. You playing with it. Because if the dope boy who just went out there and sold a whole brick to destroy the community can have that same cross on his neck with some diamonds in it, and you just put a silver one on your neck because you don't want to look blinged out, man, that don't mean nothing, man. You playing with it. I don't know why I'm talking about this today, because this wasn't my point to talk about, but you playing with it, though. I can boldly say that you're playing with it. I can boldly say that you're playing with it. Because instead of being a religious dude and just going back in the house and not doing nothing, the King in me rose up to say, I have to do something, Father. I have to do something. And the Andrew Clayborn that I know that I am wanted to slap fire about this young boy. I didn't even want to punch him, and I just wanted to slap him to show him the power of a man. Slap life about this punk. But I knew that I couldn't do that. Because that's what he wanted to see. That's what he wanted to feel. That's the only thing that he knew. So I had to go around the corner and show that man that he just took advantage of the image of God. There it is. There go that good kiss in the morning. I appreciate you, Father. But I love you guys, and I thank you guys for tuning in, man. We're building something that's so monumental, something that's so great, something that's so beautiful, man. I pray that you guys really understand this. I pray that you guys really understand why I say it's not a look, it's a lifestyle. Because we do this every day, not to impress people to leave, but to leave an impression on the earth. I pray that you guys really understand that. Because when you understand that, man, you'll stop playing church. You'll stop playing religion. I don't care which one it is, Christianity, Islam, Baha'i faith, Scientology, Buddhism, Hinduism. I don't care which one it is. You'll stop playing religion. Again, if people don't see God when they see you, you playing with it. You playing with it. And you're wasting time, valuable time. The greatness that God put in the earth, he put in the earth for you. And he put inside of your bosom before you was born. He said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. He said, before you came out of your mother's womb, I set you apart. I sanctified you. I wanted you to be great before I even sent you into the earth. Why is it that 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, you still don't represent that greatness? Quit playing with it, man. And get out here and become a reflection of a king. Get out here and become a reflection of the king. Get out here and become a reflection of the king, and your life will change forever when this changes. I promise you. I promise you. God bless you guys. Have a thankful Thursday. Again, we are taking donations because we're building something beyond Facebook Live. You can donate at Andrew D. Clayborn at gmail.com. Hit me up in my inbox for instruction or DM me. Again, man, the donations is so everybody can be a part of this. This is not about Andrew Clayborn. This is not about me. I'm just a vessel. I understand, though, the resources are necessary for us to grow, and I want to do it with everybody involved. Not so Andrew Clayborn's name on it, nah, so that everybody can see that the greatness is in numbers, it's in people, it's in us coming together, it's in us supporting each other, it's in us investing into each other. This is what I do. I invest in you so you can become great. So let's invest into one another. Donate whatever it may be. If it's $5, $10, $15, $100, $1,000, whatever it is, donate so we can build. Again, Andrew D. Clayborn at gmail.com. Inbox me or DM me. I love you. God bless. Have an amazing and thankful Thursday. Peace.